think I might need to treat myself to a little bit of soda. I get sodas and then it takes me like a week or even 2 to drink them. I'll forget I have them or whatever in the fridge. These are my favorite though. Right now they're my favorite. Favorites always change. And I never understood why people would go, oh, that's my favorite. Oh, and that's my favorite. Oh, and that's my favorite. I'm like, you can't have 3 favorites. You can only have 1. It's the definition of the word. You know? Like people that have like 12 best friends, you know, don't make me one of your best friends. Don't clump me. I don't like to be clumped. Yeah, in a group with, you know. Yeah. Anyway. Is that Stanley up there? We got Gray Kitty over here. We got Stanley up there. It's been overcast it's rainy and overcast all day. Yep. We've had all day evening. Don't tell the cats outside what a mush pot he is indoors. He's so cute. I just got some really cute pictures. Cause he's about a little less than half feral, but he's still a little feral. He's still he's still feral. He's still like, I'm not gonna hold him. You know, well, I don't hold animals against their will, but he's not one that I'd pick up if he's not in the kind of mood. You know, all right. Boundaries, I respect them. I acknowledge them. I can recognize them more in animals than I can in people, because people are such freaking liars or so void of spirit they're just completely vacant. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I always got clumpy stuff in my eyes. So much moisture. I'm a big crybaby too. I cry a lot. I self-soothe by crying sometimes. Did I cry today? I think I cried a little bit today. I was a little bit in my feelings today. Anyway, I'm glad to see Zach's on his way home. You know, that's the thing, man. Once you get older, you gain stuff with experience, you know. But a lot of people don't do anything different to learn to have problems come up and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So people just think that they know how, you know, they just navigate through life. They have no problems come up. They have no idea how to handle it. They're just like stopping their foot tracks. They don't. A lot of people don't have practical skills. Hey Zach, but whenever I see you, given the opportunity, we're gonna have a class. I'm gonna teach you how to change a tire, buddy. That's the only thing, man. I get it. I mean, see, that stuff happens all the time in the Midwest. The roads are so bad. Potholes, you nail them, man. I actually, when I was in the Air Force, I was driving out to watch a movie with a friend out in West Omaha, and I hit a curb like a drain, like the side. I slid and I hit into it, and I was in my Ford Taurus. That was the best car I ever drove in the snow, but anyway, there was black ice that night. I should have just stayed home. I should not have even tried to go. But you know, I'm always feeling, I'm such a social butterfly. I just like hanging out with people, right? So, I freaking hit this thing and knocked my tire at a 45-degree angle. And I was still out there because we just had a snowstorm. See? And I should have just waited for him to like clear the streets and stuff like that. And I got all over ambitious and all fired up and stuff, and I was still out there changing my tire. You know, and after this, like, in 18 inches of snow on black and just muck from the side of the interstate from people driving by because it was on the on-ramp. I called Mr. Iskey that night. He came to get me. And then I called the tow truck, and we got it all taken care of. But Yeah, it wasn't how I planned it, but Zach, he hit a pothole, got a flat tire, and yeah, if I was there, things would have worked out different. That's all. Anyway, I'm glad he's all right. I'm glad he's heading home. He overdid it. He overshot the mark. He overplanned. See, and when you get older, you get less energy. It's such a trip. Like you got to allocate, and I got a lot of energy, but my energy comes like I have to muster up energy when it's tasks that are just mundane. And I hate that stuff. I'm just I got, I think all of my clothes, all my laundry's clean, all of our laundry's clean, but it's all piled up because I hate folding it. So I just stay, I hate, I'm so good at some stuff, but some stuff I'm just not good at, and I don't want to muster and push myself because I'm too busy doing all this other stuff, you got to be selective when you get older about where your energy goes, and he's learning, but he'll be back and he's fine. That's the thing is I from the get go I'm like, dude, he is burning him. He's just going and going. He's not resting, and he's gonna short himself out. That's how energy works. It's great. It's how the energy works, and that's what I talk about the astrology of. I talk about the potentials of the forecast of how people can, feel. And it's great that wave, but you gotta mind that dip, man. And a lot of people have potential to get really sick right now. He never should have said, I've driven all the way across country. I haven't seen any rain. With all this Uranus, it just, the astrology is just by design, But we will never know. I mean, is somebody really formulating a grand master plan? I mean, are people really that capable of doing it to align it with, these major events and exactly in correlation with these configurations in the planets in the sky? You know what? I bet my brother, that's probably what my brother really does. He's probably one of those masterminds behind it that calculates stuff like that. He's the guy that you can give him any date in history and he'll and then bust, it's a Wednesday. I mean, he's brilliant and he's gifted and he's a genius in all of the ways that I'm not. Mom? He's the numbers guy. He was the mathematician. He was the chess guy. When I was a little kid, I learned how to play chess when I was 4 years old. 3 years old, 4 years old. And I was I'm autistic, so I would just, he got a lot of practice off me, because I try this, I try that, I try this, I try that, but I didn't really want to learn the concept of. I understood the concept and that you get to the point where you look 6, 7 moves ahead. I do that naturally in life. In all kinds of ways, I see how things. If it, heck, I'm the choose your own adventure generation. I'm the program and the mindset to. I don't go down rabbit holes. I go down ant holes because they go way deeper and they're way more in depth. They're intricate. It's not just a rabbit hole. Is just a hole in the ground. Thunk. That's it. Yeah, really. Anyway. But he's one of those, and he's in a fraternity, he lives in the nice same. I'm thinking about him. I know it because it was 9 years ago. I was the best man in his wedding, and that's when everything changed. Anyway, that's another story. So, a picture of his stepdaughter popped up as the little flower girl today. When she was 2, 3 years old. And I don't think she thinks of me as, because we're, it's her stepdad, and I try to keep track of her. She's a 13-year-old kid. I'm not there to ask her questions and talk with her friends and see what they're into and stuff like that. And she has no interest in sharing anything much what's going on in her life with us. So it's just something else I get to turn over. Just let it go. Just don't let it bother you. It's quite alright, I always thought it was nutty when people didn't get sad when sad stuff happened. You know it? Like, what's wrong with them? Why aren't they crying? They just lost their best friend. I've always been that sentimental fool. Even with Mom before she came out to live with me. We've been together, 13 years now? We're our own version of Sophia and Blanche. I'm short. But before that, every time I saw anybody, it's always be grateful, because you don't know if you're ever going to see him again, And life is all about priorities and how you want to spend your time, because we don't have that much time on this earth. We got lots of incarnations. But the time now that we have on this planet is short, and it is short, and it is short. And it's getting shorter for a lot of people. And it's another wave of fear. It's another wave of fear that we're contending with. And it's maybe not in the form of an actual virus. Maybe people are like, oh, we're not going to buy that. They're not going to, you got me last time. With all, and that whole thing. But now there's so many people that are just dropping dead all over the place. Just for no apparent reason, all ages. It don't matter. It's just people is just, boom. Grim Reaper's just really busy these days. And love him while you got him. And that's making a lot of people scared of and by itself that have gotten this shot. Am I next? I've been like that I've been transmuting the fear that I could have if I sat in that energy of being scared, because I had those 8 anthrax vax that they gave you for no particular, just to sell vials, just to be a test case, and I just found out like in the last 5 months that there's only a 40% recovery or a survival rate from that trial. So, but my whole life has been like that. Mom said that there's been a calling on my life since I was a little girl. That I'm here. I'm supposed to, whatever. I'm here to just do what I'm supposed to do every chance I have an opportunity of doing something right. Because there's often days that I make wrong choices. And when I say make wrong choices, I'm just talking about how I speak to people. I gotta be more cognizant, more aware about how I talk to people. Because I bring a lot of harshness on with the words that I say. And just because I can dig someone real good doesn't mean I should. So. Anyway. It's been rainy all day. I took a nice hot shower. I brought my big Bluetooth speaker into the bathroom and turned on music. Kind of sucks though when you're like in the zone and you're listening to music and the hot water is hitting the right spots on your neck and stuff and unwinding, and then some song in the shuffle just doesn't match, pops up, and you're like, You gotta get out, dripping everywhere. Hit arrow forward. Hit arrow forward. Anyway. It's just, see, Ma, we always feel like, or for years, we haven't kind of been with the rest of the world, huh, Ma?
That's right.
It's not like, I mean, there was this, I've worked in corporate America. I was in the air military. I've done a lot of life stuff. But there's a lot of years, a lot of time that we've just been like on pause. While the rest of the world is kind of sorting itself out. Because it's getting crazy, Ma. People are getting so nutty. It's getting... It's people just don't make no sense. You can't... So many people are zigging when you thought they'd zag, and it's just such a weird time to be alive on the planet right now. I think it's important that people get to know themselves and their planetary alignments, their placements, their birth charts. Because if you understand how you act, then you find out what other people's planetary or alignments are and things like that, then you're like, oh yeah, I can relate. I know how that feels. It makes things better. So today I was looking at mine and I was like, my ascendant in Cancer and my sun in Aries. I was looking up different excerpts of my chart. I've noticed, though, you look at different websites, and they have, like, there's different settings, so some degrees aren't, they're not, nothing is 100% congruent on the planet. I just have noticed that, like, some sites, the degrees are some ways, and some they're off in other ways, but... So today I was reading it because I work on not getting mad about stuff and just letting things go and being in the present. I work on it all the time. I'm pretty good at it, and then I have these moments. And I don't want to have those moments. And then sometimes I read this and then I get it. I get why I have those moments, huh, Ma? It says, Ascendant in Cancer and Sun in Aries. Although you appear gentle and soft. Do I appear gentle and soft, Ma, ever? Huh? I do? Thank you, Ma. And you are sympathetic towards other people. You are also a warrior and sometimes feel torn between these two aspects of yourself. Every day, all the time, every day. Be soft, be gentle, be soft. And I see people, guys that like try to act tough. And they see me and they're like, what the fuck, this chick over here? Because I'm like, I'm a tough person. I don't even mean to be. I try to be soft. You sometimes, okay, I said that already. The sensitive, tender-hearted, home-loving side, and the assertive, competitive, risk-taking side. It is a broad spectrum. It can cause problems. Often people who first meet you think that you are a softie, but later find out that you are a person with a strong will and aggressive in pursuing your goals. I find that to be true. What do you think, Ma? What did I find out today? Mars and Saturn conjunct in the same place, or is what? Mars and Saturn conjunct in my 12th house in Gemini. Okay. Yeah, so my Mars and Saturn are just chilling in Gemini. And that's my natal energy. That's what I just get to carry with me wherever I go. See, that's how I look at, like, your energetic timestamp at the time that you're born is, okay, The energy that is in the sky at this second, at this moment, that is the energy that you are going to carry with you. And that is going to be how you respond in life. And sometimes this timestamp, it don't necessarily fit with I don't think it fits right with the soul sack. But I don't know, when people know their placements, it makes it a lot easier to understand people. That is for sure, though. I do know that. Hello, Starfish Ocean. Yeah. Yeah. So, hi Nathan. I hope you're back in. See, big life events. It's like being on a pink, like being like my body would just buzz, weddings, just like what exciting events, my energy, other people's energy, like these are the days that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. I've had a lot of occasions like that. I'm fortunate, I'm lucky, I'm blessed, right? And seeing people now, they're starting to have more of these events. They haven't been able to do a lot of this the last couple of years. So to see people, I get to live so much vicariously through people. It does my heart good when I stay on the right side of it, on the right side of my planetary alliance. See, because I could be jealous, envious. I'm not spiteful. I've never been this spiteful sort. I don't retaliate. If I got beef with somebody, I really don't like them, or they really, just leave them alone. And if you watch my older videos, I got examples of how I learned that lesson. So throughout the years, you get older and you just do more what's right for you. And not just for you. That's what I hope that people are starting to understand, is that when you just do what's right for you, there's consequences in that. We're here to make heaven on earth for everybody, not just ourselves. And it's important that people start recognizing that and seeing, we're getting to a point that things are, it's past critical mass in a lot of ways. And there's still so many people that are just going on, just la, 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 la. Everything's great, coming into the winter months, it's the next few weeks are just going to be just crazy. And I am taking the opportunity to just try as hard as I can every day, because I have my moments. That this is like reminiscent of when we had to leave Oregon. And I have my moments. I could panic. No. Talk yourself off the ledge. Breathe. We don't have to go today. We're okay. Everything's fine right now. I've been talking myself off ledges for years. People need to learn how to talk themselves off a ledge. I am free to tell you the tricks I've used. I meditate about an hour a day. Sometimes I don't get the opportunity. Sometimes the energies aren't right, so I'm not going to. But most days, I at least disconnect and plug into source. That's where I get all the data, all the information I need, all the good orderly direction. Just, okay, what do I need to do the next right thing? What do I need to do? So they're doing another litter pickup, so I'm going to go do that on the 21st, 22nd on the main street. This is just for the town. So, see, that's the thing is, I've always been real active in life. Back when I was in recovery, I'd go to 3 events in one day. on the weekend, and then 2 on Sunday. And I was just all over the place. As long as I run in and out and let the dogs out and have time with the dogs and love on the dogs and do my chores and stuff like that, then it freed me up and get just to participate in the lives of others. And then things got weird. But anyway, I learned that, and so now it's in me. It's always been in me. I was thinking about when I was in junior high, 12 years old, 13, I was like you. I'd walk all over town anyway, go over to this person's house, go to that person's house. Sometimes I'd end up walking like miles, like 4 miles, because you'd say, "Don't you find a way home, because I'm not going to come and get you." And I couldn't get a ride, so I'd have to walk home. So I wonder how many. Oh, my poor feet. After I wore my boots to pick up trash the other day, and I haven't worn them in years. Come here. Go. Get. Go. I wonder how much they weigh. I never weighed them. But these are what I wore on the flight line. They're obviously steel toe, but they're freaking ginormous, and they're like heavily lined.
They're sturdy.
Oh God, yeah. Back in 2001, 2000, because when I got to Offutt, they have like their own warehouse, their own like. Yeah, you go in there and you get a list of all this cold weather gear and all this stuff, because it's a very cold base. Benny, get. Go. Go. And I worked outside in extreme weather, oftentimes inclement weather and stuff. So I got all kinds. So that's where I learned that is where I really learned the importance of proper gear, doing the right thing. Like, I wonder if Zach had like an emergency kit in his car. Like, what if that happened when he was out in the middle of nowhere and he didn't have no service? Yeah, he probably would have gotten a ride, but it would have been like a way more of a nightmare, You got, and if it's winter, snuck in a snowstorm thing, stuff like, you got to have kits. You got to have, all these people just see stuff on TV and then, or see and stuff and like, I'm going to go do this. And there's a young man that, I guess people I know, he was in Arizona. He was a resident there for a year, I guess, at Creighton. That's where I worked. And I think he was neurology. And he went out hiking up in freaking Arizona, wasn't prepared, evidently wasn't good direction, who knows what the circumstances were, and died. And, people they don't know oftentimes this fun task, this really, let's hike this mountain because we saw it on Instagram, and once they get out there, it's like, oh my God, or they're not prepared, and the world's changing, the weather's weird, whether somebody's making it happen or whether all these, I believe in a I sleep easy some night for a couple hours because I believe in a multi-universe, all things possible place. So it's real active in here. So yeah, this could happen, that could happen. sure, I see that. Truman Show. Yeah, it's all scripted. Yeah, yeah. But what I think it comes down to with all of those scenarios, I think what they're all trying to get us to look to is to freaking treat everybody decent. And that's it. And just try to make the earth freaking a really, really cool place. Wouldn't it be cool to have places like where adults could go? I think it'd be fun, and I think a lot of adults would agree that I know, like an amusement park or like a place where you could drive those race cars, but instead of those race cars, go and like play with excavating equipment. Wouldn't that be cool? And then you could learn how to do it, and then instead of those machines that sit for hours and hours and hours out of the day that don't get used by the county, city, there's a lot of equipment that sits that regular people could just go out in the community and use these, and be able to check equipment out like library books. Because everybody pays for the equipment. They pay for all the maintenance, scheduled maintenance, non-scheduled maintenance, all of it with tax, and now they want to buy, they think it's cute. They want to buy all these electric vehicles, and it's just a bad idea. Batteries die, and they get to the point where they don't hold a charge at all, and that, and it's a bad idea, and people don't need to be going that way. They need to just be freaking getting out of their cars and freaking walking, picking up the garbage in their community and trying to make things a little bit better, a little bit more heaven on earth where they are in their own neighborhoods. And if that spreads out enough, who knows what we could do on this planet. And all these like weird freaking ideologies are dying, and I'm so happy for it, and the whole earth is just on this great turnover, and I'm really happy for it, and it's all so nervous, and and a lot of people are excited, and most people don't even notice. I can't believe how many people think that freaking. See, but everybody thought my grandma Edith was just so sugary nice, and she was not nice. Like, okay, I'll say like this: she spoke in matters of facts. However, the words that she said and the facts that she spoke were hurtful to my feelings. How's that, Ma? Yeah. So. And a lot of people were like that to me. I don't know why people thought that they felt compelled that they needed to tell me what they thought about me all the time. Oh, I was showing the boots. Anyway, I wore those boots to pick up trash, and the whole next day I could hardly walk. My feet hurt so bad, and I was like, those are why my feet are freaking wrecked. Oh my gosh. Stupid military, man. It just ruins people. Anyway, I've been yammering for over a half hour. I think I'm done talking now. People need to learn practical skills though, man. Learn how to find a clean water source. Seriously, everybody should know how to change a tire. Everybody, there's things that there's just people don't know. They got so reliant on these things and computers and stuff like that. And my whole life, since I was a little girl, because people around us, we never really had like our power shut off. Mom budgeted it enough that, we went without a lot of stuff, oftentimes food, but we usually have running water and electricity. And then there were times that we didn't, but because we lived off grid, off Backbone Ridge out of Jones Valley. That was a long 5-6 months, however long that was. Yep. 3 points. So, yeah, we've been surviving for a long time. So that is always had in the mindset. I'm like, why do people care so much about these? What happens if one day there's just no power anymore? I've always imagined that since I was a little girl. And then there's, throughout the years, over the course of my life, I've seen movies where that was the case. And so I don't know. Never get too stuck on something. Never get too, because life is constantly changing. And for those people that have managed to keep it in such a stagnant, just, and I've worked in those places. I worked in universities, and I'd almost like feel left behind when people like every year, like, because there's people that graduate every year, and I started seeing the cycles, and I hated when the freshmen came, man. Oh my God. Move-in week. Oh, Jesus. Like, a lot of parents failed. A lot of kids just, and so many people with the me first attitude in one-way streets and just, don't you know who I am? And it's just, and I used to get mad when I worked at Creighton because every year before the students came in, they had the local nursery, Mullery's, I think it was called. It's a great nursery, but I think there's homeless people all over the place. It's in the same place where there's like junkies and homeless people everywhere. The bad part of town Creighton is, right? And then this campus would spend like probably $35,000 on freaking flowers, and they'd all plant it around this really weird fountain in front of the cathedral because it's a Jesuit university, so. I was just like like the money. The good stuff always goes to the right people, Well, there's a whole lot of us down here that don't freaking care quite much about that stuff, but we just want a place in this world. That's all. It's not too much to ask. Anyway, I've yammered on long enough. I hope folks are getting back to their regular lives. After this wave of energy that came through this last weekend, and the wave continues, man. The wave continues. Just hang on to your morals, hang on to your integrity, because people. Now's the time we're gonna start saying more and more. What are people made of? What are they really about? So. It's the craziest time in history. I never thought I'd ever see the planet like this. It's about all I got for now. Hope you have